6 o'clock and you all work. Is this working? Is it working? Okay. It's good? Okay. It is a little after 6 o'clock and we want to keep on agenda, so we're going to get started here. I'm sorry, it's like... I am not... Ooh, there we go. Is that working now? There we go. Okay, I got the thumbs up in the back. My name is Bonnie Brusky, and I am a member of the community, and Jennifer Morales here. She and I came together when we heard about what was going to possibly happen with MPS, and we are two individuals that came together and decided that this was a time that the community needed to have clarification, a chance to hear about what's going on in MPS, because as you all know, there is a direct impact about what happens in MPS happens in the city and vice versa. So as you look around, you may see familiar faces. You may see educators of your own children. You may see parents of MPS students who may be your neighbors. You may see MPS students sitting there, and I know that there are a few MPS students out here as well. This is not one organization, not one group that's coming together except in the name of the community, and that's why I'm happy to see all these faces out here. What we do have, just to let you know, is an agenda. If you didn't get to pick any of those papers up, we do have the table that has all the information over here by the sign-in. That's basically going to lay out for you what we're doing tonight. We've got a statement of purpose. This is where you're going to get a chance to get rid of all those nebulous things floating around and get some facts, get some information about what all this means. And then also have a chance to ask your questions and voice your opinions. And let me just tell you right now, we came here as a community. We want to respect each other as a community. We are not here to bash anybody. We are here to voice our opinion about what we think is best for the name of the kids in MPS. And with that, I'm going to pass it off to Jennifer Morales.
So it doesn't matter where I am in this. I don't know. Guess we'll find out. Good evening. I have a number of things I want to point out to you before we really get started. One is that if you didn't pick up a pink agenda, that would be helpful. On the back, you should hold on to your agenda and bring it home because there is a list of 5 things that you can do today to fight the takeover. And I encourage you to commit to taking some action even on one of those things if you haven't already. There's been some immediate criticism that people who don't want to take over don't have an idea about how to improve governance. So just today I created this salmon-colored flyer that has 5 things that could be done. It calls on specific groups of people to take action, but obviously it helps when the community is pushing for those things. So you can take a look at that. Those are just my brainstormed ideas. There are many, many, many more, obviously. Another thing you should pick up before you go is this white double-sided sheet. It has the names and contact information for all of our local elected officials, as well as the governor and the superintendent. So if you would like to share your opinion with folks, especially, I want to point out you should contact your state legislators, because in order for any mayoral takeover to happen in MPS, the state legislature has to change the law. So the legislators at this point are the most important targets for your opinion, but everybody should know how you feel about this issue. And then finally, bathrooms, the critical thing, are here. Drinking fountain is there. If you have to leave before we close up tonight, hopefully before 8 o'clock, please look at the bottom of your agenda. There's a list of reminders of 4 things you should do before you leave the building, please. So I try to make this easy, and most of the things that they refer to are on that table right there where you saw when you came in. One of the key things that we need to know, just so everybody's on the same page in terms of information, is that there is no bill before the legislature at this point. However, what we do know is that there have been very high-level conversations about authorizing the mayor to take over MPS, and that the governor has said that he would like to include a change in legislation in the September agenda for the legislature. So we're talking about a very short time frame. The other thing we know for sure is that the takeover is being framed in the context of the Race to the Top federal education funding. Race to the Top is a grant program provided by the Department of Education. All states will be in the running if they so choose to submit a proposal. However, a recent independent evaluation of Wisconsin's chances of winning this extremely competitive grant process put us at the very, very bottom of the list. One of the handouts that's on the table is a multi-page letter from Director Michael Bonds, President of the Milwaukee School Board. It's very informative. It's circulating in a number of capacities. If you want a copy and there aren't any more handouts left, you can ask me at the end of the meeting. But in there, he talks more specifics about the Race to the Top proposal process and how Wisconsin is very unlikely to win those dollars, even if the mayor took over MPS. So when that's being used as a reason for this, we need to look at that with some skepticism. Tonight also, we want to stay focused on solutions and on looking at what is our best approach going forward from here. As I said, the time frame should be pretty short. We're talking about maybe a month of activity. But a lot of intensive activity will have to happen if we are to defeat this, because many of you heard the way this news came down, that the mayor, the governor, and the state superintendent of public instruction are in agreement that this is what should happen. So those are some pretty formidable people, but I don't think that because they're all elected, that they can stand forever by denying us our democratic rights. So we need to think very strategically and quickly and stay focused on action. At the end of the evening, not too far from now, after we have some discussion about the situation and what action has already been taken, we will break out into some smaller groups so that we can talk about if people are particularly interested in certain types of action, whether that's developing communications or developing a strategy to contact the legislators or doing some kind of direct action to express our displeasure about the possible takeover. We can break up into those groups and work more efficiently that way. So tonight we have several folks who want to tell us about how they see the situation. Most of them are elected officials. One former candidate for State Superintendent of Public Instruction. And we have